Okay, man, I'm going to repeat my instructions. I want you to give me a nice clean match. Protect yourself at all times. Obey my command at all times. Touch up and good luck to both of you.
Arturo Gatti says confidently, I'm going to win my next 20 fights in a row. He's got an opponent who can make it difficult for him to win one in a row.
In your corner.
Gatti looked absolutely starched to the bone yesterday. It's a different look as he gets into the ring tonight with 19 pounds of hydration having been put into his body. Gamache says Gatti's lifestyle, the way he trains, the way he brings himself to a fight, must catch up to him as his career goes on. He says, hey, I may be older, but I know that I've taken better care of myself than Arturo has.
Gatti starting out with a good jab, trying to find the range, because Gamache is making certain that he keeps the distance for a few rounds.
Gamache sneaks in a left hook counter, and Gatti fires a right hand and a wide left to the body. The barometer on Gatti's commitment to going back to a boxing style will be how long is it before he dispenses with the jab, because in his most exciting fights, Arturo has wasted very little time in getting into a toe-to-toe position, squaring his shoulders up and just trading shots with his opponents. But here you see Gatti doubling up on the jab, sticking it again. Gamache trying to pick his spots and flurry. When Gatti stops punching, there's a solid right-hand lead down the pipe by Gatti.
Gamache, he's ahead on the experience. He's been around for a long time, so he's not going to be intimidated by the moment. If you're going to beat him, you're going to have to physically beat him up.
I'll tell you how long, George. In 1978, as a 12-year-old amateur, he fought on a card with Marvin Hagler, who was fighting professionally.
Well, and we haven't even mentioned that Gamache was born and raised in Lewiston, Maine, a name with its own colorful place in boxing history. And there's a knockdown by Gatti as he puts Gamache across the bottom rope with a minute still to go in the first.
Gamache is wobbly.
Hey, step to me, step to me.
And Thunder Gatti closes in, hoping to finish, and Gamache lands a blistering left hook. The left hook by Gamache momentarily stopped Gatti in his tracks.
He's trying to pull a Gatti.
Oh, there's a big left hook by Gatti, and the body punch set it up. And Joey Gamache looks very wobbly now with 30 seconds still to go in the round. 3 knockdown rule is in effect in New York State. One more knockdown and this will be over.
Hold on, you better hold on.
Gamache punching back, but giving Gatti a chance to land. Gamache almost went down. That would have been the end of it. And now Gatti's glove touches the canvas, but Esteves rules it a slip, not a knockdown. Looks like Gamache is going to make it out of the round. And Gatti landed one more left hook for good measure well after the bell sounded.
And Gamache staggers toward the wrong corner. And Gatti gets warned by the referee.
Relax. How you feel, champ? Good. You know where you're at?
Yeah.
Huh?
You know, the fight.
All right.
You know where you are?
Yeah, he knows where you are.
The Gatti fight.
Okay. You can help him fight. Get it up. Set it up, remember. Okay? Don't go crazy. Keep using your jab.
You get a chance to be asked.
There's the first knockdown. This long right hand as Gatti moves backward, hitting him oddly on the right side of his face as he turned away. Still the first knockdown. This is usually the kind of action we see from Gatti in the last round of a fight, not the first round. And when the doctor asked Gamache if he knew where he was, he said, I'm in the garden. It's a Gatti fight.
Those were the right answers. Good enough to keep Gamache in the fight for the second round. Round 1 was huge for Gatti. 36 out of 73, 26 out of 43 power shots, several damaging left hooks.
this night is because of the reach. Gotti is able to land these right hands from a distance, even at for reaching.
He's also looked so much bigger than he does.
Yeah, and he's got a 15-pound weight advantage. Every time he lands a shot, it's abundantly clear. Benji Esteves isn't going to bother with a count here, as Gamache's eyes were closed before he hit the canvas. This is the second time in 2 fights now that Gatti has come into the ring outweighing an opponent by between 15 and 20 pounds and has put the opponent away early. And for the second time, there is considerable concern about Gamache because of the way he went down.
His head may have hit the canvas pretty hard, but we see from here that he's lifting his head now. This is a very good win for Arturo Gatti. The last time he fought, it was against a no-hoper, as it turned out. Gamache is a legitimate fighter as Gatti tries to fight his way back into the picture now as a junior welterweight. Gamache now leans back on his head. He's being talked to by a doctor, but he is hurt.
Now, a lot of the boxers don't like these thick canvas, the way they got it with the padding on there, because they're not able to move and slide. But they've now made it regulations to make these things real soft. And by the way, you saw what happened to Gamache. He was able to hit his head, but at the same time, there was a lot of padding to make certain there's no permanent damage by it.
So you're happy the padding's there when you see a guy go down the way Gamache did.
Yeah, a lot of us, we don't like it. It wears your legs out over a long period of time in the ring if you're going to move around. But if you happen to fall on your head, thank goodness.
Yeah, well, we'll show you replays here in a minute as soon as we're relatively certain that Joey Gamache is going to be okay. Our primary concern right now as broadcasters is to be certain that Gamache is going to be able to come out of the ring in decent order, and that's what we'll be following for the next few moments. Meanwhile, medical personnel are right there. Gamache trying perhaps a little too hard to get up on his own power, and now you wonder when they're going to bring a gurney in and do this the right way. It'll be the second time in a row, last August 14 and now again tonight, that Arturo Gatti's opponent leaves the ring with medical supervision after Gatti was allowed to come into the ring more than 24 hours after the weigh-in and weighing nearly 20 pounds more than he had at the time of weighing in. This is going to become an issue in his future fights. But as for the blueprint, George, even though it was brief, Gatti boxed early, and that set up the opportunity for him to do damage.
Yeah, he actually caught him on the end of a lot of shots, and that's where it really hurts, when you get caught on the end of these shots. Like a boxer, he did good damage, but at the same time, he didn't have to brawl and get it.
Gatti's manager, Pat Lynch, came and leaned over the top rope and shouted excitedly to us, "We're back." Of course, in terms of fan interest, he was never gone. But as a competitive force, Arturo Gatti does indeed seem to be on the upswing. And as Joey Gamache begins to come around, we've got a chance to show you second round replays so you can see the conclusion of the fight. Right uppercut. And you see why we were worried about Joey Gamache, whose eyes were closed well before he hit the canvas. The uppercut was perfect, George.
And not only that, he's getting his whole body into it, like one of those home run hitters hit a baseball. You don't want to be hit like that from wide range. Stand way out there, nothing blocked. Everything is right on target.
So Arturo Gatti's punching power does a number on Joey Gamache in a round and a fraction.
Up, cross, boom. Classic finishing. Every shot. 1, 2, 3.
Three-punch combination.
Each one on target.
Well-thrown power shots by a well-balanced Arturo Gatti.
You'd like to think that a lot of fighters wouldn't like to be carried out on a stretcher, but there are times when, look, you got to say to yourself, I know I'm a man. Hey, I don't need to walk out on this one.
There's been talk about a Gatti matchup with Julio Cesar Chavez, and in terms of style, I think it would be pleasing for a lot of people to watch, but I wonder if Chavez, at his age and at his advanced state of boxing decrepitude, ought to be in the ring with a young lion like Gatti at this point.
What do you think, Judge?
Harold Letterman sitting over there shaking his head as if to say, I don't know, might be entertaining.
He's scared.
And there's a look at Arturo. Sportsman, nice guy. He was disturbed at what happened to Reyes Munoz last August 14, and rather than to stick around and watch the main event on that show at Foxwoods in Connecticut, he went to the hospital to be certain that Munoz would be okay. I'm sure that his primary concern ever since referee Benji Esteves stepped in and ruled the end of the bout has been Gamache. Be sure that he's all right.
There weren't any cuts in this boxing match. Maybe it was too fast, but you would think punches were thrown, but he hasn't got any open cuts, which is a good sign.
No, that's a big night for Arturo. Let's go to Michael Buffer for the official particulars.
Michael, they threw it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the official time, 41 seconds of round number 2. Following the knockdown, referee stops the contest. Your winner by knockout victory. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, he is back. Arturo Thunder Gatti.